Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. So we've got a few topics to cover today, and we're going to get right into that Sony State of Play. Now there was a lot here. We had about 20 minutes of previews for different games before we even got to that extended look at the Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League. So I'm going to go right through them real quickly. First we start off with just a sizzle reel of different PlayStation VR 2 games. And then we take a look at 5 games that are coming to PlayStation VR 2. We have Foglands, and this is described as an atmospheric sci-fi western roguelike. And then we have Green Hell, where it looks like you're dropped into a jungle and you're having to, I guess, fight your way out. From the description, it looks like there'll be different tools and some crafting that can be done. And there is already a PC version called Green Hell VR, so I'm not sure if this is the same game or if it's going to be slightly different. And then we see Synapse, which is described as the next-gen action shooter. And then that is followed by Journey to Foundation. And this is based off the Asimov book. And this is set to release sometime this fall. And then the 5th VR game here is Before Your Eyes, and this is coming out on March 10th. And this appears to be your more artistic looking game, so if that's up your alley, then you might want to check it out. And then we move on to a whole bunch of games, and I'm not sure if these are new announcements, so I'll just go through all of them real quick here. We have Destiny 2 Light Falls, and that's coming February 28th. And then we have Tchia, I think is how they pronounce that, and that's going to be on PS Plus day 1, and it's described as an open world sandbox adventure. And then we have an early announcement for the games that are coming to PlayStation Plus in March. We're going to have Battlefield 2042, Minecraft Dungeons, and Code Vein, and these will be on March 7th. And then we'll have that Tasha game, that's day 1. I know I'm mispronouncing that, but oh well. We'll also have Uncharted, Legacy of Thieves Collection, Immortals, Phoenix Rising, Rainbow Six Extraction, and Ghostwire Tokyo. And then we move on to some more game trailers. We have Humanity, and this game is described as stranded at the end of the world. People have lost their sense of purpose. You awake as a dog and join the people in a series of trials, i.e. stages, attempting to guide them towards pillars of light. And this game apparently has a demo out that you can go ahead and try. And apparently this game has PlayStation VR 2 compatibility. So that might be something you want to try out if you've got a VR 2. And then we have Goodbye Volcano High, and this launches in June on the PS5 and PS4. And I'm not exactly sure what this game is. It seems to be a narrative with some rhythm play in it. And then a franchise I think we all know. We have Naruto x Boruto Ultimate Ninja Storm Connections. And this says it's going to have the most playable characters ever. And if you're not familiar with this series, it is an arena fighter. And they did boast that the PS5 version would support 60 frames per second. And then we have Baldur's Gate 3 launching on the PS5 August 31st. And I've not played any of the Baldur's Gate games. I'm aware of them, but just haven't played them. But I must say, this trailer looked really good. They do boast it as a true Dungeons & Dragons experience in video game form. So if that's up your alley, you might want to check that out. And then we see Wayfinder, and this has a beta that's going to be out on the 28th. And this is a character-based online action RPG that revealed back at the Game Awards. And then we get a look at 3 characters for Street Fighter 6. First we have Zangief, and I think he looks pretty good here. The face is a little different than I've seen in the previous ones, but overall pretty good. And then we see Lily, and I'm not familiar with her. I think she may be new. If she's not new, she's just more recent, maybe a DLC. I kind of stopped playing Street Fighter 5 pretty much after it came out. But if you're into wimpy looking short girls, this might be up your alley. And then a fan favorite, we have Cammy. And this is a little different take on Cammy than I've seen in the past, but her gameplay looks pretty good, so she's definitely one I'll be trying. And Street Fighter 6 is set to come out on June 2nd. And then we have another look at Resident Evil 4, and this shows new action gameplay and announces Mercenaries mode, as well as a demo. Now the demo is set to come out on March 24th, and over at the PlayStation blog website, they did say the Mercenaries would be a free post-launch DLC. And then finally, we end out with that really long look at Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League, and this was about 20 minutes in length. And they take a deep look into one of the missions. You also get to see the different playable characters and the different moves they have, as well as part of the cutscenes from before and after the mission. We then get a breakdown of the plot, and it basically starts that Brainiac has taken control of the Justice League, and the Suicide Squad is recruited to stop them. And this is supposed to come out on May 26th. Overall, it wasn't a bad state of play, although I wouldn't put it at one of the more blockbuster announcement type ones. I'd give it probably a good solid B, maybe a B-. I probably would have had a little higher rating if we had seen Final Fantasy 16 here. But let me know what your thoughts are in the comments below, whether or not you thought most of the announcements here were great or just sort of mediocre. And in a little bit of different news, we have the latest expansion for Forza Horizon 5, Rally Adventure. And if it sounds sort of familiar, there was a rally in the first Forza Horizon game, and the location is Sierra Nueva. And the description on the trailer says, join 3 rally teams and attack Horizon's most thrilling routes ever in Horizon Rally and Horizon Races. Feel the intensity of mass dust trails and deformable sand roads in 10 new cars and experience the bursting flames of anti-lag. Explore dramatic craters, abandoned quarries, and an entirely smashable palm forest. So you can go rushing through that forest and knock right through the trees and not get stopped. And this expansion adds several new elements. First, there's icons that move across the screen that sort of give you a heads up of what's coming up next, say a sharp turn or maybe a jump. And they say this is sort of part of the rally experience. They also added a drone show to the festival and the ability to do a launch start. Now this is coming out March 29th and it's not included as part of Game Pass. But the expansion is included in the premium add-ons bundle, which also included the previous expansion, which was that Hot Wheels one. So I already have that expansion. I'll be checking this out when it comes out on March 29th. And then finally, let's take a look at the latest Famitsu Sales coming out of Japan. We have a chart here from Gamatsu coming in first, no surprise here, Hogwarts Legacy for the PS5. And just a reminder, the PS4 version's not out yet. But then we have a new title with Wild Hearts again for the PS5 coming in at number 2. And then we have Pokemon Scarlet and Violet at number 3. And then kind of a lower entry than I would have thought, we have Tales of Symphonia Remastered for the Switch. Now I know that version had a lot of issues, and there's a patch that may have fixed some of those. I've not looked into a lot of the details, but I have to wonder if it may have hurt that first week's sales. But then next at number 5, we have Splatoon 3 for the Switch, and then we have another new entry, Theorhythm Final Bar Line. But then number 7, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, and number 8, we have the PS4 version of Tales of Symphonia Remastered. Number 9, we have Minecraft for the Switch, and then finally at number 10, we have Nintendo Switch Sports. And looking back on this list, if you take both the PS4 and the Switch version of Tales of Symphonia Remastered and add those numbers up together, it would come in second place, beating out Wild Hearts. So I guess it really wasn't that bad of a showing if you factor in both versions. And then let's take a look at the hardware sales. First we have the PlayStation 5 in first place, followed by the Switch OLED model, and then the PlayStation 5 Digital Edition, followed by the Switch, and then the Switch Lite, and then the Xbox Series X and S coming in at 6 and 7, and PlayStation 4 still doing pretty good at number 8, and 79 people needed to replace their dead new 2DS LL. And this is sort of what we've been seeing here recently, and I actually have a graph here I created in Excel that goes back about 14 months. And you can see here the orange is the Switch, the blue is the PS5, and then the gray is the Xbox. And I'll be updating this chart each week, and I'll probably change the colors to kind of match the actual console brands, but for now, you can look through here and see at the point where the PlayStation 5 family jumped up above the Switch and has been maintaining that lead for about a month or so now. Now, there's a couple of anomalies here, these big, huge spikes that you see. There's about 5 of them here. Those were where Famitsu combined 2 weeks into one. Because there was a holiday, they basically released the numbers for 2 weeks at once. I may go back and split that up and just average it out over 2 weeks just to make the graph look a little smoother. And I'll keep adding to this graph each week when the sales numbers release so we can kind of follow along and see how this continues. And that's all we have for today. Did anything we cover catch your attention? Are there any of those games that were shown at the State of Play you're really looking forward to? And what do you think it would take for the Switch to have a week where they outsell the PlayStation 5? Maybe perhaps if that Tears of the Kingdom OLED model comes out? Drop a comment about those topics or anything else we covered today. And if you enjoyed this video, make sure to hit the thumbs up. And if you haven't subscribed yet, consider doing so you can get more of these videos into your feed. I want to thank you for watching and be good.